Alright, so this is part 2 of your Earth's history exam. Again, pause after each question so you can really take the time to look in your reference table. I've included some guidance to help you figure out where you need to look. Please use it. Okay? So number 1 asks, which organisms were alive when New York State was last covered by a continental ice sheet? So you're going to go to pages 8 and 9, look at important geologic events in New York, figure out when New York was last covered by an ice sheet, and tell me what fossils were found during that time. Is it going to be A, Euripides and Coxsania, B, Anaerophon and the Naples tree, C, the mastodon and beluga whale, or D, Colophus and Elliptocephala? Number 2, base your answer to the following question on the graph below in your knowledge of Earth science. The graph shows the percentages of the radioactive isotope carbon-14 and its disintegration product produced during 4 half-lives of radioactive decay. So remember, carbon-14 can only be used to date something up to 50,000 years old. So knowing that, it says the age of which index fossil can be determined using carbon-14. And it gives you 4 fossils. It can only be used to date something up to 50,000 years old. Number 3. Due to radioactive decay, an igneous rock sample now contains 1/4 of the amount of potassium-40 that it originally contained. The age in years of the rock sample is approximately what? So I put a chart on here. You're going to figure out if there's 1/4 of the potassium-40 left, how many half-lives have elapsed, and you need to multiply that number by 1.3. Number 4. Which scientific principle states that younger rock layers are generally deposited on top of older rock layers? Is that the theory of, or principle of superposition, evolution, original horizontality, or inclusion? Which says that younger rocks are on top of older rocks. Number 5. Base your answer to the following question on the geologic cross-section of a portion of Earth's crust shown below and your knowledge of Earth science. None of the rock units have been overturned. Okay, so I labeled the different rocks in here. And it says which sequence shows the relative ages of the gabbro, granite, and schist from oldest to youngest. Remember, intrusions are always younger than the rock they cut through. Number 6. Base your answer to the following question on the Earth Science reference tables, the diagram below, and your knowledge of Earth science. The diagram shows a cross-section of the bedrock where the Niagara River flows over Niagara Falls. So we've got a big waterfall going on here. The unconformity shown in the Queenston Shale was most likely caused by what? A, faulting, B, folding, C, erosion, or D, volcanism, volcano. Why is there that unconformity there? Number 7. Base your answer to the following questions on this geologic cross-section below of the Grand Canyon. The numbers 1 through 10 represent Paleozoic sedimentary rock layers. The unconformity between the Paleozoic sedimentary rocks and the Precambrian sedimentary rocks represents what? A gap in the geologic time record, an intrusion of igneous rock, abundance of fossils, or a region of metamorphic rock. I want you to think about what's different between the top layers and the bottom layers. Number 8. The geologic timeline below represents the 3 most recent geologic eras. The numbers represent events in Earth's history. So you have Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic eras. And then you have present day. And you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So which number best represents when humans are inferred to have first appeared on Earth? So you're going to look at pages 8 and 9 in your reference table and look at that Life on Earth section. When did humans first show up? Okay, number 9. Base your answer to the following questions on this cross-section below and your knowledge of Earth science. The cross-section represents rock units that have not been overturned. Lines CC and GG represent unconformities. The geologic ages in some of the lettered rock units are shown below in the cross-section. Which inference about rock units D, E, and H can best be supported by evidence in the cross-section? A. They contain mostly sand-sized sediments. B. They contain land and marine fossils. C. They were altered by contact metamorphism. Or D. They were deposited as horizontal layers and were later tilted. So you're looking at rock units D, E, and H. Number 10. Why is there no contact metamorphism between rock unit L and rock unit F in this diagram? L and F. Why in that little spot is there no contact metamorphism? Is it because A, conglomerate does not metamorphose? B, the intrusion was not hot enough to metamorphose rock unit F. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce that word. C, the contact metamorphism within rock unit F eroded away. Or D, rock unit F was deposited after the intrusion of rock unit L. Number 11, during which period in geologic history did the uplifting of the Adirondack Mountains begin? The Quaternary, Cretaceous, Jurassic, or Cambrian. So look at pages 8 and 9, important geologic events in New York. Number 12. Which types of surface bedrock are most likely found near Jamestown, New York? So if you're looking at page 3, you can see what types of bedrock there are. Is that slate and marble, quartzite and granite, shale and sandstone, or schist and gneiss? Number 13. Radioactive dating of fossils and rocks is possible because radioactive isotopes A. are found in all fossils and rocks, B. are easily collected and measured, C. disintegrate into organic substances, or D. disintegrate at a predictable rate. So why do we like these isotopes for dating? What's special about them? Number 14. The geologic cross-section below shows a complex structure containing a granite intrusion. If the granite intrusion occurred 24 million years ago, what are the most probable ages of the schist and the shale in millions of years? Remember, intrusions are always going to be younger than the rock that they cut through. Okay? So that granite is always going to be younger than what it cuts through. We know a little bit about its age. Number 15. The diagram below represents the Placoderm bothripolis, an index fossil found in New York State. And I've labeled which index fossil this is. Index fossil R. The surface bedrock at which location is most likely to contain this fossil. Is that going to be Ithaca, Old Forge, Albany, or New York City? So you're going to have to figure out what time period is this index fossil from. Remember, it's index fossil R, looking on pages 8 and 9. And then look at page 3 and figure out where can you find bedrock from this time period. Number 16. Base your answers on the following questions on the block diagram below, which shows a portion of Earth's crust. Letters A, B, and C, and D indicate sedimentary layers. Which event occurred most recently? A, the formation of letter A, B, the formation of letter D, C, the tilting of all 4 sedimentary rock layers, or D, the erosion of the igneous rock exposed at the surface. What happened most recently? Number 17. The diagram below represents a sample of rubidium. Which diagram represents the correct portion of rubidium to its decay product, SR, after 2 half-lives? So essentially, how much rubidium is left after 2 half-lives? What fraction is left? There's a chart here that you can look at. Number 18, base your answer to the following questions on the Earth Science reference tables and your knowledge of Earth science. The largest meteorite impact crater in North America formed approximately 1,850 million years ago, which was during the what? So you're going to look at page 8 in the Eon column. Is that time period during the Middle Archean Age, Early Proterozoic Age or era, Early Jurassic period, or Late Cretaceous period? Number 19. A very large circular impact crater under the coast of Mexico is believed to be 65 million years old. This impact event is inferred to be related to the what? Appearance of the earliest trilobites, advance and retreat of the last continental ice sheet, extinction of the dinosaurs, or the formation of Pangaea. So look at page 8 in the Life on Earth column. What happened about 65 million years ago? Number 20. Which event occurred approximately 4.6 billion years ago? So that's 4,600 million years ago, if you're looking at page 8. Is that the evolution of the earliest fish, evolution of stromatolites, formation of the oldest known Earth rocks, or formation of Earth and our solar system? Number 21. Base your answers to the following question on the table below and your knowledge of earth science. The table shows disintegration products and half-lives of 5 commonly used radioactive isotopes. Which radioactive isotope takes the greatest amount of time to disintegrate? I have written out the expanded notation of all of the half-lives, so I would take a look at that. Okay? Which is the biggest number? Make sure you're looking at those zeros. Which one takes the longest amount of time to disintegrate? Number 22. The geologic cross-section below shows an unconformity in New York State bedrock layers that have not been overturned. Index fossils found throughout some rock layers are shown. Which New York State index fossil may have been present in a rock layer that is missing due to the unconformity? Okay, so you're essentially looking at your reference table and you're trying to figure out what is older than dinosaurs, which is index fossil L, but younger than Eucalyptocrinus, which is H. Okay, so what is younger than L, older than L, but younger than H? Okay, I have written the letter of each of these index fossils next to them. So take a look. Number 23. Base your answer to the following questions on the photograph below and your knowledge of earth science. The photograph shows a small waterfall located on the Tug Hill Plateau. It's important to remember, it's the Tug Hill Plateau. During which geologic time period was the surface bedrock of this location formed? Cretaceous, Triassic, Devonian, or Ordovician? So you're going to look at your map on page 2. You need to find the Tug Hill Plateau. Figure out what type of bedrock is in that area using the map on page 3. Okay? And then you're going to figure out, it'll tell you what geologic time period that bedrock was formed in. Number 24. The diagram below represents a sample of a radioactive isotope. Which diagram best represents the percentage of this radioactive isotope sample that will remain after 2 half-lives? Okay, so what fraction of the black remains after 2 half-lives? You have a chart here if you need it. Number 25. Based on fossil evidence, most scientists infer that A. Life has not changed significantly throughout Earth's history. B. Life has evolved from complex to simple forms. C. Many organisms that lived on Earth have become extinct. Or D. Mammals developed early in the Precambrian time period. Okay, so what do we know about creatures that existed long ago? Which one of these might be true? Number 26. Which graph best shows the radioactive decay of carbon-14? Okay, so which one is going to show how that carbon-14 decays over time? Think about decay. (27) Which geologic event occurred during the same geologic period as the first appearance of modern corals in Earth's oceans? So you're going to look at pages 8 and 9 and compare the Life on Earth column and important geologic events in New York State columns. So you're going to look for modern corals showing up in Life on Earth, and then tell me what geologic event is happening during that time. Is it the Grenville orogeny, the Acadian orogeny, the intrusion of the Palisades Sill, or the formation of the Catskill Delta? 28. Base your answer to the following question on the geologic cross-section below, in which overturning has not occurred, and letters A through H represent rock layers. Which sequence of events most likely caused this unconformity shown at the bottom of rock layer B, that squiggly line? Is it going to be folding, then folding, uplift, erosion, and then deposition? Intrusion, erosion, folding, and then uplift? Erosion, folding, deposition, and intrusion? Or deposition, uplift, erosion, and then folding? Number 29. The cross-section below represents 4 different rock units. The symbol for contact metamorphism has been omitted from the cross-section. The sequence below represents the relative ages of the rock units from oldest to youngest. You have limestone, then granite, then shale, then sandstone. Which cross-section below represents where the symbol for contact metamorphism would be located based on relative age sequence? So remember, contact metamorphism occurs between igneous intrusions and the rock that it intruded. Okay? So looking at these pictures, where would that contact metamorphism have occurred? And number 30. The geologic cross-section below shows rock layers that have not been overturned. I have labeled each of these rocks. So you have shale, then limestone, then you have your unconformity, then you have marble, and then slate. So the fault is older than what? The slate, the marble, the unconformity, or the shale? The fault is older than what happened before what?